Welcome back to a family business podcast. We are going to be talking about joining a team or being a solo agent. Is that correct?
It's going to be the debate. We're going to have a debate here, right?
Oh,
Should you go solo? Should you join a team? Should you build something in between? Should you just not even be in real estate? No, I'm just kidding. That's not actually the topic.
Maybe.
So if you are an agent, maybe you're considering building a team. Maybe
Right.
you're a solo agent considering getting on a team. Maybe you're on a team considering being a solo agent. Guess what? This episode's probably going to be for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of options in real estate, clearly. So let's start
Well, when
talking.
you're at a brokerage like Real, there's tons of options.
Anything you want to do.
I don't know if there's all those options at other brokers, but that's for another podcast.
So where do we want to start? Do we want to dive into...
I have a question for Brad.
Let's start there.
Brad, why?
Uh-oh.
Brad, why do you hate the word team? Why do you think it should be group? Or
I just think the word team reminds me of a sports team, which is
we
fine.
don't hit home runs?
Well, I mean, it's okay, but it's a collaboration of minds and skill. So kind of like a sports team. But yeah, so I don't necessarily like the word team. That I just like the word group or something like that. It sounds a little more business-like.
Well, I think I kind of have a gist of why you don't like it, and you said it before. I think that we have seen across the board when you run into something like that, that there are some hidden things that come with that, right? So when I talk about that, you might be hiring a certain agent or realtor, and you'll never hear from them in a transaction. I think that's your pinpoint with that term, is that there's just some hidden things that come in with a huge team that you might, I'm thinking I'm hiring this particular realtor. Well, you might never hear from them in the entire transaction. So I think that's kind of the pain points that come from it, just because it's I don't know. It's well, I kind of see it.
And I do think that you can run and I'll use the word team in that group.
Ooh.
You can run a team that's branded well, that you'll get people that'll want to work with that team, that the team's really talented, right? But it's hard because you have to have everybody in the team be very well trained, so you're not dropping off. Because that's what happens with a lot of these rainmaker teams, is what I like to call them. So there's the head honcho, and then everybody else works underneath them. They're on terrible splits, and basically they're working to make the lead head honcho look good. And I don't think those kinds of teams long-term last. I think a lot of the times there's a ton of turnover, that you're not allowing people to build their own business within a team, that's what I like, which we'll get into.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that, because I think that is 100% true. I think that our industry has a big misconception of what a team is, and that's probably because of some of those what I would consider traditional team models that came about early on. And really, I mean, let's just give them props for what they did. I mean, they understood that the traditional model wasn't really good for an entrepreneurial mindset as a realtor, because let's be real, we'll talk about this. But if you are a real estate agent, you are an entrepreneur, you are running a business. And too many of the previous business models, some of them still exist, they're falling off slowly but surely, did not allow for that mindset, right? Or that freedom to do that. So therefore, you had some agents that went and created a team, more so a business, and probably didn't go about it the right way because there were constraints within those brokerages. If we would have stayed at our previous brokerage, that literally would have been the way it was for us, because the split that we had to pay to our brokerage was so significant for no value that in starting a team, we would have had to pay them so much that we would have had to charge our team members a ton of money just to be able to make it profitable. So therefore, the team member, sure, they're still getting leadership and knowledge and whatnot from the team lead in those situations, but you're not making squat, right? It's just a silly setup. So I think that is why some of those things, there's a misconception, and probably a bitter bad taste for a lot of agents when they hear the word team because of those models. Or you have like the situations like we were talking about a different podcast. It's like you have a team that's really good, but they have a Michael Jordan, right? And you think you're hiring Michael Jordan, and then you show up and he's out for 3 games, you know, and you don't know where he went. So,
yeah, that does.
Okay,
that happens a lot.
His picture's on the sign, but we don't know where he is.
Exactly, but like I mentioned, it's doable to even have that kind of a layout as long as the team's trained really well. In my experience, the vast majority of teams that are laid out like that, there's a huge drop off between the head honcho and maybe the next down in line, that a lot of them are brand new agents that haven't been trained. And that's where you run into the issues that now all of a sudden the clients are like, well, I thought I hired you and I'm not getting what I thought I was going to.
Right. And typically that team leader, we're just saying typically, not always, typically in those situations, that team leader is burnt out, doesn't want to sell real estate anymore. And so they've decided, well, I'm just going to start a team because that's the way I can still service my clients and take care of them and make money. But it just never ends well. And that's why people have a bad connotation of teams.
Yeah. So let's talk about how we run it at Real.
Well, let's first talk about the advantages. Let's PT. So you really don't, I mean, you obviously, because of we're a unique hybrid type situation, the way we run our team, you don't really know, you're a solo agent yet within a team, which I think a lot of times we call those teamerages now. What's your take, right? Like on if you were just completely on your own versus how we run things.
Right. And my take on joining a group or going out by yourself.
Love it, group.
It is, you have to take a look in the mirror. You have to ask questions. You have to interview people.
You asked us some hard questions.
A little bit. But it was just, you know, what do you feel that, and it's important to interview, right? Because you want to figure out who you fit well with, who you work well with, who fills your weaknesses, or who raises up your weaknesses to make them strengths. So if you're a newer realtor agent and you're kind of looking for, maybe you've got a couple of years under the belt, but you're also looking to now scale your business a little bit, a group may be able to help you with that just by looking at, you know, is this something where I can kind of get more opportunities for leads or open houses? So that's definitely a benefit. It all depends on where you see your needs, your weaknesses to grow it and become a strength.
I think the way that we have it laid out as a team is a great thing, that if I were a younger agent and a newer agent, it would have been nice to have not only the mentor that we used to have, but also a group of people that were there to answer any questions that I had. It's transformed so much over the years that when I got into business, there were very few teams. I mean, that was really not even a thing. It was everybody working on their own. And I think in life, I mean, we all know that when we work as a team with other people, that when you have multiple people that are working for a common goal, you can get a lot more accomplished and learn a lot quicker too. So yeah, I mean, I had a mentor, I could go to my manager, I could go to training classes, all the rest of that. But to have it kind of built in now, where hopefully if your team leads good, that you are able to go to not only your team lead, but also other agents that are very experienced on the team.
Well, I think too, one of the things that makes us definitely different in the way that we do things as our team group, whatever, is, and this goes for everybody within our office group. And actually, by the time that this rolls out, we will have a totally different dynamic in our office group than we have now. And it'll be an awesome thing because we're just a powerhouse already and it's just going to make it better, but we're going to keep that a secret right now. So
stay tuned.
So our teamerage or team or group is not operate from the capacity of we are looking for people to add to our team to call random leads. And I think that is definitely a stigma with teens. This is just my opinion, if you want to join a team purely for the purpose of getting a bunch of leads, and that's the only thing that you care about and what your split is on those leads, then I'm just going to say, probably are not going to be successful in the long haul. And number two, don't come to interview with us because we're not set up that way. Our teamerage group, team, whatever we want to call it, is set up more so we do provide leads to the agents on our team for sure. But we don't have a Zillow Flex. We don't do any of those things. We have some outside lead sources, but all of us that are working in our group that kind of started the group are all experienced agents that have sold real estate successfully for several years and still continue to do so. Some of us are trying or starting to phase out of that because we feel it's beneficial for the people on our team to start getting more active in that role and taking care of those clients, and we can serve them better by being more of a mentor in that position. But that's really how our model is set up. Our model is set up that there's leads for you, but we're going to help you work those leads. We're not going to just put you in front of a phone or set you up with a database and you just call them randomly and follow up with them. Our goal is to work alongside you side by side to learn how to do the business, grow your business so that you can, the greatest honor to us someday is to go and start your own teamerage or take over what, is being built now when people finally step out of it and retire from it. That's our goal, not to make money off you for the rest of our lives as someone who we're giving leads to.
And you're so right. It's you want to make that transition from being a salesperson to running a business. We've talked about it for episodes and episodes. And so I'm big on surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you, more experienced than you, that you can learn from them. You just sitting in a room with somebody like that might know something a little bit more than you, you're going to learn immediately. So if you're looking to farm a neighborhood, learn how to be better at social media, honing your skills on negotiating, those are what you get out of a group, right? The actual pieces, instead of just picking up a phone and just failing and failing and failing and failing. That's the biggest thing too, is you're not going to make in this business if you can't take no. Well, okay, yes, that's right, but it's so shallow. It's so surface level. You have to actually learn where your roots of your business need to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we do differently is we run our business based on relationships. Yeah, we do a little bit of lead generation, like Andrea said, but that's not the main part of our business. Like I hear some of these national podcasts, and all they talk about is Zillow Flex and Realtor.com and all the rest of these things.
Exhausting.
I always tell new agents to go out and meet people. That's the best way to get instant business. I mean, I think you can vouch for this, PT, that the way that you've grown your business the quickest are from the people that you know, not only family members, like my dad used to tell me that if you depend on them, you're probably going to start when it comes to the real estate business. But the ones like, Rotary Club, say Chamber of Commerce, you've met so many cool young people on your YP group that you're in at the Quad City Chamber of Commerce. Those are the ways that you meet people. Like when I got into the business, I went on a Cubs bus trip with the YP group, and I would bet if I had to look back, we had a good time up and back, but I would bet out of that bus ride, I probably picked up 10 clients. Lifetime clients that we still work with from time to time, when they move. So you never know where you're going to pick those up. The personal relationships are a huge thing, and I think you learn that from whoever is your team lead and who's on your team. So that's one advantage of the many of being in a group.
Well, and the other thing that I would say to that is so, when you say, we do some lead generation, right? We do some of that for our team, right? And I think that also just comes naturally because we're list heavy agents, which the more experienced agents typically are list heavy. So therefore, we have some of those systems in place because we want those leads from our listings to come back to us so that our team can work them and we can work with them on those leads. But what I was going to say is that the reason why we're able to offer on our team group higher splits than what you would typically see for a team is because we're not paying buttloads of money for leads. We are paying for leads on a smaller scale. We are mentoring our agents, and then we have systems in place to help them to build their business so that they have lifetime clients that they can get business from over and over again. And that's why you don't have to take half of their money every time that they do a deal, because that's not how you're set up.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be nice that when you called a person that they knew you and it was a warm lead?
Yeah.
And I know you've dealt with it a lot, PT, and I used to do it back in the olden days, back when I was on floor duty, where...
Wait, did you have to clean the floors? I don't
Well,
understand.
the funny thing about that is...
What does that mean?
That was an easier...
Floor duty?
That was an easier lead than even a Zillow lead that they don't know who in the heck you are and why are you calling me, right? And we have a couple people on our team that are wonderful at that lead generation type, but it takes a special person to be able to do those kinds of leads right and left. The easier way is to go out and meet people, create those warm relationships, and so much easier to earn their trusted business. Because Andrea, why do people do business with other people?
Because they know, like, and trust you.
Yes.
And to echo what you just said, we have this team member who is phenomenal on the phone and phenomenal with her leads. And the craziest part about it, though, is that prior to coming to our group, that was her only source of business, was making those random phone calls from the leads that came in. So if she didn't make the phone calls, she didn't have business. She did not have business.
No calls, no money, right?
Right. And what she has learned she's been with us for just over a year. And it's the most amazing thing because she's still, if we have some leads and she has time to call them, let me tell you, that girl can convert. There is no doubt about it. But the even cooler thing is that she now has the systems in place to nurture clients that she's worked with that she really connected with. And now it's like, she's a very big in her family. She has very young kids. And so she's able to really just, pick and choose when she wants to work. And when she wants to work, she puts the hammer down and she takes care of her clients and, follows up on some leads and then clients that she worked with previously that are calling her again. And she does deals. And it's the most amazing thing. But it's cool because if she was still in that old model, she couldn't do that. Right. She'd have to be making calls every single day.
No, you're absolutely right. So let's go back.
Hold on, PT had something to say. I see his little notes.
Go ahead, yeah.
Well, it's just, I think that just hammers the nail down even more is that, so for example, that particular team member is that they had a special skill set, but were missing a couple pieces. And she found those missing pieces to be able to kind of make everything work and make the business run smoothly for her. So it's just taking some time figuring out, where do I need to kind of help in? And if that team or particular group works great for you, then phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. So going back to the solo agent, any advantages?
I think it depends. I think that, sure. You were a solo agent for several years, Brad. I think that if you, wow, I think I'm a little stumped right
I think
now.
there is. Here's where I will kind of go with this. Okay, is that when you're a solo agent and you just are getting into the business, you learn how to do everything. So if all else really fails, like how to do the paperwork. Now, I'm not the greatest paperwork guy in the world, but at one time I had to do everything from start to finish, which I really think that's beneficial. But I'm still going to go, and I don't love the word team, but I still am going to go with, I really think as a new agent even, you're better off being on a team that you do get that training and that help.
But I feel like if you're a solo agent and if you're a solo agent and, like, to your point, okay, So if you're at a traditional brokerage model where like, and they have a couple agents that really sell and then the rest are newer at, whatever, or they just only specialize in new construction or whatever. Who is it that you're learning from? Because the people that are running those brokerages are not actively selling, and most of them didn't really sell ever.
You hope that if you're at a larger brokerage, traditional brokerage, that the education part of it, hopefully they've got a good education department, which, that can be hit and miss depending on the brokerage that you go to.
But I just feel like you're going to learn more. So I'm just going to again say that I just feel like a team, if you can find the right fit for you, is 100% what you should be doing, because I think you're going to learn more from the right team leader or the right collaboration and team atmosphere with producing agents that you can. And maybe it's just because I feel so strongly about what we have going at Buy Sell Build QC is that, that's how agents are learning from each other. Not just from the people that are, like me, you, Sarah, Peter, everyone is learning from each other. And if you were just a solo agent, you wouldn't have that. And I will say with our previous such situation, there was never anybody in the office.
Yeah. No, that's
very
true.
Solitaire.
When you have the team culture, you tend to have more people in the office that they want to be there, right? They want to be part of it. And I think with our office, what's become very cool is everybody has their roles too, right? So even though they're not the team lead, which really is just a title, like a great example is we've got Market Mondays, which I love going to those. That I've been doing this for 25 years, but Bobby Bunch and PT every Monday or every other Monday give us an update on what's going on in the market. Now, you would think you're a realtor, you would know that. No, not necessarily. They're digging deep into market trends, which areas are hot, which are not so hot, what's happened over the last year. It's just very interesting to look at all that, and that you wouldn't get if you were just an individual agent. Right?
Well, and also to echo on that, the other cool thing is how everyone sits there and discusses it. Yeah. So you guys bring the information, you and Bobby, but it really sparks a conversation with everybody that's in the office at that time of what's happening in the marketplace, and that's how you learn from each other and you grow.
Well, I agree 100% on that. To go back to the Market Mondays, it's really to just open it up for a discussion to hear everybody's, what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, so everybody can learn from it, and that's part of the group aspect, the marketing group aspect. But just to kind of hone back around on the solo agent aspect, I actually think it's kind of an outdated term now. Whether you're hanging your license anywhere, I feel like the way that the industry is shifting to, there's no such thing as a solo agent. Yes, you might just see this particular realtor signs and it's just their name. They don't have a group or team attached to it. But, for example, I think that if you're a part of something, hopefully you feel a type of culture, collaboration within it. But the only way that I could see this, being an advantage is I just don't think that some people are interested in taking, they're looking for that next step out of the team. They're ready to do it, but they aren't interested in having their own team. Right. So they're ready to take their next step. Yeah. They've got years under the belt, and they feel that they're ready to go out on their own. I think that's an advantage for some people that feel that, having my own team is really probably not the right choice, but I feel like I could do this by my own. I could have an assistant or something like that that will help me through this. But I feel like that's kind of the only situation right now.
Well, and I agree with what you're saying, PT, and I think probably the term solo agent is the wrong term. And I agree. There's agents in our office. Sarah's a perfect example of that, that she is riding her wave. She is at the prime of her prime in her business. But to say that she's a solo agent, yes, in the sense of the fact that her listings are her listings and her business is her business, that is true. But she, just like the rest of us, relies on each other to collaborate and help each other's business grow. So I don't know what the right word is, but teamerage.
Yeah, even like me back in the day, right? there was a point where I needed to hire somebody to help me, right? And then that's when you ended up coming along. But
and she also has Carrie, who's a freaking rock
that's
star,
exactly right.
who's
So
also not human. We'll put her in the same category as Sharon. I don't think
It
Carrie's
would-
human.
almost be impossible once you reach a certain level to be a solo agent. And what I mean by that is you're literally doing everything by yourself.
It's
So
impossible.
I really think it's some point you reach, even if you're your own team, you've got to have an assistant or even maybe two once you reach a certain level. So that's kind of a team right there. Right?
Yeah, maybe it's more of a, instead of a solo agent, it's a individual agent business model.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Individual agent
Yeah.
business model. But
Yeah.
I mean, starting out the first few years, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it right here. I think if you can, and I'm gonna agree with you, PT, 100%. You need to interview some places. You need to, and I think that one of the worst things that people can do, and this is also when you get into interviewing brokerages or deciding what brokerage to be at, it should never be about the split. That is important. You should not be taken advantage of. You should not be paying something that's extraordinary in comparison to what other places offer. But if it's only about the split, then you're never really going to be at the right place. It needs to be the big picture of how it can help your business and maybe different also streams of income rather than just, selling and buying real estate. But I think it's important. I know I've heard of some things and seen some things that I'm like, well, wow, I cannot believe that team lead or whatever was charging that for what they were providing. But everybody's different. And I think that if you as an agent see value in what you're getting, then I think that's the most important thing. Because at the end of the day, if you're not getting any value, your split could be 5% and you're not going to make any money because you're not learning how to do anything new
100%.
and grow your business.
And we've all seen and we've all witnessed agents that all they care about is what their split is. If you're not selling anything, who cares,
Yeah,
right? So it's one of those where the split matters, sure it does, but how much if you're not getting any leads and you're not doing any transactions hardly? If you had 100% split, who cares? But if you have a 70%,
100% of 100 or 100% of 0 is nothing.
right. Or if you had a 70% split, yet you're getting all these leads and you're closing all these deals, I think I'd rather take the 70,
Well,
so it's like what are you getting for?
Well, and I always chuckle too, sometimes when we talk to agents from other brokerages or other teams that will come and talk to us, every once in a while, the thing they'll say is, well, I looked through my business and I know that, of my 20 deals last year, 12 of them were my people that I brought and I sold the house to. They were my clients. So the team only gave me 8. Okay, well, who helped you close those deals? Who helped you market them appropriately? And if the answer is they didn't, well, then yes, you're not in the right place. But if they did, that's part of the deal.
Yeah.
If you are successful at helping people buy and sell real estate and you take care of your clients because the team around you, team lead, your, team members, your group that you're with are helping you do that, then that's going to increase, and it should, right? If your personal deals are not increasing wherever you are, you're probably doing something wrong and you're not at the right place.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, and it all goes down. If you are looking for some type of change, or the root of it is that you're looking for help, right? And where does that lie essentially? And it's not in a split. I can tell you that you don't need help in getting a split, right? I mean, it just is what it is. But what is going to help you grow your business and allow you to reach your full potential? And it goes back to the systems in place. It goes back to the marketing. The name recognition is huge, right? I think that's what people really go after and should go after, right? I mean, that's important.
Brand, right? I mean, and that's one of the things that you get when you join a quality team too, right? Is that you get all the experience from everybody that's on the team and it has been on the team that gets passed out, kind of like good companies, exactly the same way. But getting back to this, like, where is this going? I mean, I really think long term that you're going to see less solo individual agents down the road. That I think a lot of people are realizing that if teams, groups are run the correct way, there's so many benefits to them.
Well, that 100% is the push right now. I mean, you are seeing these teams, these boutiques, these groups, they're flying left and right past your face, and it's the push. It's the new model. It's what people are going for. The idea of that, and this is probably not the probably contradictory to what you just said, Brad, but the idea of having people do the work for me, right? I mean, that's or I can go on vacation more.
Okay, but that's a positive thing,
right.
PT, because you can, if you're in the right place, you do it for each other.
Exactly. But I think that's the core root right now of it's allowing me to not be on 24/7, which is phenomenal, right? That's what we all strive for, is to at some point be able to have those lesser times of worry and on at all times.
Well, and it goes back to too, what you do. I have two more thoughts on this. Number one, I definitely think that the traditional team model is dying. I think it's going to be obsolete. I think that the model,
like the rainmaker team, where
yeah,
you had honcho and then everybody else.
I think those days are done. But what I do think is, going back to what you said, I mean, I think that is a benefit of picking the right team, is because you can and you should, right? You are better at your business and for your clients if you are able to take time away and recharge, period. And the other part of that is not just taking time for vacation, but also taking time away to maybe go to different masterminds, different trainings, different things, which again makes you better for your clients and yourself, and self-development as well. But if you're in a situation where maybe you are in a team or a group, but you don't look around and see anybody that you trust handling your clients in your absence, well, that's a problem too. So I definitely think you have to have the right people. And it kind of made me think about, it's no different than if you're going to hire a doctor, or you're going to, you want to go to a restaurant or whatever, you ask people's, get some feedback and opinions. If you're looking at different teams or different brokerages in the marketplace, I mean, ask around of what people's experiences are working with individuals from those places, or what do they know? Go on their social media, see what they're like on there. If you see you have a mutual connection, reach out to them and talk to them. Because that's, people can fluff a lot of things and a lot of, but really having those conversations with people who know those people personally or have worked with them personally, that's how you're going to know if that's, someone that you want to explore and work with further. I think it's go meet with them in person, but ask around, find people who have worked with them.
And now that you've been kind of talking, I was just kind of thinking that the rainmaker team is basically was out of the traditional brokerage. That was just the big agent that would build. It was like a mini brokerage in a brokerage.
Just a machine. It was
really
a machine.
What it was, right?
Machine.
It's just an extension off of the old way that we used to do things, rather than the collaboration and, let everybody grow their own brand within the team. Right? And let everybody be their individual person, which I think is the best way to do it.
Well, and it goes back to where we're at now with Real. We truly can, and so can everyone within our group, team, however you want to say it. We all can build our business the way that we think is best for us. That's one of the best things about where we are now, and why we went into that thought process, is because the sky's the limit. The Real is so awesome in that sense. Hey, this is how your team is. Everybody's different, and they know every market's different, and the way everybody wants to run their business is different. So it allows you to create the business that works for you. And I think that that's something too. I mean, if you're going to be with a team or as an individual team model or whatever, that's important too, who you're partnered with, right? And if you're going to open your own brokerage and that's your team, right? You literally open your own brokerage. There's a couple of people who have done that recently in our marketplace. I just think that's crazy. I mean, at this point,
good for them, but man,
kudos. I mean, I think that's great for you taking that risk, and I'm proud of you for doing that, and way to be an entrepreneur. But I just think there's an easier way. I mean, I just think there's an easier way.
That's the best part about Real. I mean, I'll just speak on behalf of Real, is the best way that I can describe it is they allow you to do your business without throwing up all these barricades that the traditional brokerage does, right? That if you want to be like a teamerage, which is, what we are, no problem. They don't have any issue with it. They don't try to make it difficult. Once again, what I love about Real is they're so agent centric, and they want to help you out.
Not just don't make it difficult, but literally, I mean, the pro teams model, which I mean is a whole another dynamic we'll get into another day. But the fact that they rolled that out because it goes back to the philosophy of Real is that it's about the agents. What can we do to make the life of our agents better? And pro teams was something that needed to happen for some of these teams to have more flexibility in the structure of their business.
What does Sharon say? I work for you, right?
That's right.
Which I love it. I mean, and that's very true of all of our leadership. They truly do. And that's why we're glad that we're at Real.
And if you're on a team, everybody on your team should work for you too. And you should work for every one of them.
That's right.
That's correct.
It's my philosophy. That's right.
No doubt.
I think we're out. We're good.
That was great.
Hey, little team high five.
Hand sweating.